Aloha, it's Biz Coach Claire, VCC, in the house with Jadeen Tuinei. We're talking about money talk. She is one of the many speakers that will be at our online events on November 13th, Saturday, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Not only do you get to hear speakers like Jadeen, but you're going to get strategies. You're going to walk away with a plan of action. So, no matter what your current financial situation is, I I invite you, I encourage you to be here. So, welcome, Jadeen. I look forward to sharing you and introducing you to others because your story is so powerful. So, brace yourself. If anybody's out there, get ready to hear Jadeen's story. Jadeen, introduce yourself and share your story. Welcome.
Thank you, BCC Coach Claire. Thank you so much for having me today on your show, your talk show, Money Talks. And so just totally blessed. I'd say to be a part not only of your event, but again here talking with you on Money Talk. I find it a privilege and an honor to be able to um, serve the people of Hawaii and then nationwide with all that God is doing in my life and where He's taking me from and where He's taking us to. And now I get to serve people once again in conferences or workshops such as yours. So just totally blessed. So thank you again for having me.
Oh, yeah. Yes, awesome. I'm so thankful that you're here and grateful for you. And so, yes, please introduce yourself. Tell us what you do and why. Tell us your story. Why do you do what you do?
So anyhow, I'm actually born and raised here in Hawaii, specifically on the Waianae Coast. So for many years of my life, if not all the years of my life, I was raised in Waianae. I just moved out to Kapolei maybe close to 4 years ago. But I actually do life insurance, and I've been a life insurance agent for 13 years. Got started with an awesome company with Primerica Financial Services, and recently had the opportunity to become an agent now with Premier Financial Alliance. Let me just share with you a little about why I'm in the industry, how that all started, and where it came up, where this all came about. I actually started in the industry just about 13 years ago. And it was at the time that a friend was doing her training for life insurance. And we actually, my first husband at the time, and myself was actually one of her first clients that she was practicing uh, with her coach at the time, training on life insurance. And what ended up happening was she took us out of a policy that we were paying a lot of money for that wouldn't even cover the cost of our home should anything happen to my first husband, who was the breadwinner of the family. And today, I'm totally grateful for what she has done, and I'm totally grateful for at the time being open minded, because not all the time we're open minded of things such as, can you sit with me for my training appointments, right? We don't, nobody wants to be sold. And I'm grateful for some reason. I think I said yes because she actually came with family to the house, and I didn't want to say no. And I say this, that I'm grateful that at the time I was open minded and not closed minded to the idea, because unknowingly, I was going to lose my first husband just 2 to 3 years after she presented what she had presented to us. And when she came, I've been an associate pastor, and I've been a director of education for Ark of Safety Christian Academy. But when she came, I thought, I probably like to look into what she's doing. And so not only did she save us and get us something to cover our mortgage, and a little extra, it was an opportunity for me to bring a little bit more cash flow into the family, which is why I said, I think I can try this. If it's doing what you're doing, I'd like to try it. And so I got into the industry. And then, of course, I lost my first husband unexpectedly. We had a church tennis event. He was healthy. He was a foreman for coastal construction. We were just starting our family. So we purchased our home, I'd say maybe 8 years prior to that, 9 years prior to that. We purchased our first home. We were working in the ministry, had good jobs. Really, at the time, I thought we were finally living our lives, starting our family. I had, my oldest was 8 years old. I had a 3-year-old, a 2-year-old, and a 1-year-old. And little did I know that that night of a men's event tennis tournament, my husband would pass away unexpectedly due to a massive heart attack. And so that just threw me into a state of not just devastation, but it knocked the wind out of me for a number of months and then a couple of years, to where now I'm left widowed. And not just left widowed, now I'm left as a single mom. And hadn't it been for the protection that my friend just took us out just 2 to 3 years prior to make sure that at least our mortgage was covered, I cannot tell you that I know where I'd be today. I know where, maybe emotionally, I know that God was always there. I know that He never left me, but financially, I don't know where my children and I would be today. And so that's why I am forever grateful for that friend that took the time to share, and then grateful that I was open-minded, because for a lot of other things I don't want to be sold, so I kind of be closed-minded. And what that taught me was, you never know what you need, you never know what they're going to present. And it taught that lesson taught me such a great example of, hey, give it a chance, try it out, listen to it. So I try not to shoot anybody down when they ask me to do their trainings, or would you mind listening to what I do. I try to support them, and look at where we are today, right? And so this year, 10 years, my children and I celebrated his celebration of life. We lost him 10 years ago. My oldest, in fact, just today, she's 19 years old, and we lost her dad when she was 8. And now, not only she made 19 years old today, I'm gonna be a grandma in what, the next 6 months, 5 6 months. And so I'm totally grateful for the protection. I came from Primerica, and now I'm with Premier Financial Alliance. And why did I go to Premier Financial Alliance after what happened? What I gained from Primerica? Well, I was looking for something a little bit more, and Premier Financial Alliance has the opportunity to offer my clients living benefits. And why I say that is because just 5 years after my first husband passed away, my auntie, who lived 5 houses down from me, she was diagnosed with colon cancer. And when she was diagnosed with colon cancer, of course, she was young at the time, I'd say 49, 50 years old. And that was a shock to all of us. But not only was she diagnosed with colon cancer, while in remission, she ended up contracting what was called necrotizing fasciitis, which is a staph eating disease, a flesh staph eating disease, and it took out half of her body. So her whole left side of her body, from her hips down, was eaten from this flesh disease that she had, the staph disease. And because of that, now she wasn't working. My uncle wasn't working. And at the time, we, as a family, we had to put together, because that's what we do. We put together as family, right? So we put together because we needed to help them keep the roof above their head. I had my cousins that was still in school. Some of them were in college. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 children, right? And we did what we could as family. And the only thing we need to do, of course, local families, we do Kalua Pig, right? We do a Lao Lao. But what ended up coming out during that time of need was GoFundMe. And we did it because we needed help. It was unexpected. Um, she was still living. It wasn't like she passed and there was a death benefit that could be brought her way. She was still living. And we needed chronic care, because now my uncle, who was a foreman, had to give up his job to take care of my auntie, who no longer could work. And that taught me, when Premier Financial Alliance, when a friend of mine introduced me to what living benefits was, I immediately took that whole scenario back to taking care of my auntie. And I said, we fought hard. She didn't have anything. Within 3 years, we lost her. Cancer came back aggressively. We lost her. But there's so many families here in Hawaii that is struggling because they're having to care for family members that has diabetes or high blood pressure, and they cannot care for themselves. And we know that when family is having to take care of them, that's a source of income that they lose because somebody cannot go to work. So that just took me, it just made total sense that now I'm able to offer my clients not just a death benefit, of which I'm forever grateful that I was a recipient for, but now I can offer my clients something that it becomes income protection in case they have a terminal illness or a chronic illness or a critical illness or critical injury, right? It gives them more. It's income protection. And so it made total sense for me to jump on board with what this company was offering with National Life Group, and to be able to come back to my clients and say, hey, listen, I know I protected you with life insurance that really should be called death insurance because it's, mainly a payout when you die. But I have something that can be income protection for you while you're living. Something that can protect your assets, while you're struggling to get well. And why I believe in this is 43%. They find that 43% of the nation's foreclosures that took place within the last 2 years is due to chronic illnesses, where family members had to care for head of the households that could no longer work. And I don't want to see that happen to our people here. I live in Hawaiian Homestead property, Hawaiian Homes. Grateful for what I have the opportunity to have, but it's a land that was given to me because of who I am as a Hawaiian. Why is this important to me? Is because there's many Native Hawaiians in the same place as me, but a lot of them are also losing their homes because they have no income protection. And so, as a Native Hawaiian, I find a privilege to get out there to talk to many people and say, hey, listen, we have a blessing here, that we have with these homes. We want to keep it in our families for generations to come. And if I could offer you something that could protect your income to keep that home and you never lose it, would you mind at least listening? Are you open minded to listen to what we have? And so this is kind of what I want to share with people, that there's options for, and living benefits actually is a coverage at no additional cost to what you're paying now for your current policy, whether it be a term policy or a permanent policy. It's a coverage, no additional cost, that will cover you if you get sick now. Why is that so important? It gives you peace of mind. It gives you peace of mind to take the time to heal, to get yourself better, and not have to worry about financially what's going to happen to my family. I think that that's so very important, is for us to heal, because we know when stress arises, or we have stress, our body feels it, right? Our physical body takes a toll because of the emotional stress. And so I just want to say that's kind of what we want to share. I'm so excited for this event and how you're helping BCC, Coach Claire, how you're helping not just Native Hawaiian people that I'm so passionate about, but people in the state of Hawaii and then state and nationwide. So I want to thank you, because I do think that there's not enough people coming to our locals, not enough people doing this and really speaking to our families in regards to what they need, and especially at this time that we're living in. So I just want to say thank you for this opportunity to get out there and offer people hope during this
Oh,
time.
thank you. Thank you, Jadeen. That is so powerful. And I'm trying to keep my emotions together because, first of all, I grew up down Leeward side, Honakaihale. So, yes, I know the struggle and the stress that comes with money situations. And I talk about that. And this is why I'm doing what I do, is because I grew up in a bit of stress, and money caused stress, and so I love what you offer and what you're educating people about. And number two is because my kids, my mo'opuna, they're Native Hawaiian too, and yes, I believe we need to talk more and be more open about the different tools that are out there, because if we can take advantage and strategize on the tools that are available for us, we can eliminate a lot more stress and, like you said, heal. So
That's
that
right.
is very, very powerful. Yes. So Janie is going to be one of our speakers on November 13th. She has a powerful story. How old was your husband when he passed away? Your first husband?
33 years old.
33 years young.
Yeah.
Amazing. We don't ever think that someone's going to pass at 33 years young,
That's right.
and absolutely. So I love what you do, and you are making his life a legacy because of what you do. You are honoring his life and your children. What a beautiful celebration. Your daughter celebrating her 19th birthday, and that they had, like you said, because of your decision to be open minded. and get life insurance for him, you are in a whole different place. And I love how you're making it your mission to help other people. So thank you so much. I look forward to having you as our speaker on November 13th. Thank you. Any closing words as we end?
No, I just want to say that I'm privileged and blessed and have the honor to be a part of this. And I want to encourage all of you to take advantage of this. There's so many great speakers, so much wealth of information that's going to be shared. You don't want to miss it. So thank you again, Coach Claire, for this opportunity.
Absolutely. Thank you. Aloha.
Aloha.